You do not have to do it the way I do it, but I'm giving you one template that you can take into the gym with you. You could take this template into the gym with you tomorrow and start, and it'll work. Welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer, where armor is forged through mental, spiritual, and physical preparation. Welcome to First Responder Fitness, my friends. It is another amazing week. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining me today, wherever you may be doing so, whether you are following us on Spotify or on YouTube. Boy, I thank you for being a part of this First Responder Fitness family. And I encourage you to make sure to subscribe and to share this with everyone in your police department, in your fire department. Share this with your first responder loved ones. It helps. The bottom line is it helps keep this channel going. The more shares, the more likes, the more comments. So I would really appreciate it if you do that. I want to talk to you today as if you are entering back into physical fitness and the gym for the first time. Because we've talked a lot about the things that you need, the habits you need to develop in order to put on muscle, lose fat, get into good cardiovascular shape, to get into good physical strength, and to help create a life of health and prosperity that lasts well into your retirement. Remember, these are the goals that we have here at First Responder Fitness. We want you to be in shape on duty so that you can survive and thrive and be healthy. But even more than that, we want you to thrive and survive and be healthy long into your retirement so that you can do what you want to do finally, right? So that when your time is finally yours, it's yours to do what you want to do rather than what the bosses tell you to do, right? So we've covered so much good information, but today we are going to break down. I am going to break down for you my preferred weight training, muscle building routine. Now understand, I come from a very, very vast background of weightlifting, where I was a world champion powerlifter. And so for many years, starting roughly 1996, 97, all the way up until I fractured my spine in and around, we'll say around 2008, preparing for the World Powerlifting Championships in Las Vegas. My entire focus was on strength building. It was how much could I move one single time? How much could I bench press one time? How much could I squat one time? How much could I deadlift one time? And so I followed, anyone who knows anything about powerlifting, I followed the West Side Conjugate method. I was a disciple of Louis Simmons. Talk to him on the phone. He wouldn't know who I am, but I was a follower of the West Side system and had tremendous success with that system. But since First Responder Fitness is not focused on individualized single power lifts, we are looking more for longevity, health, and we would say hypertrophy, which is muscle building, the growth of the muscle. Sure, we want strength, but we want to put on muscle tissue without putting on fat tissue. And that's something that I did not do very well when I was powerlifting. When I was powerlifting, I'd usually walk around about 280 pounds, 285 pounds, and I would compete at 275. So, I was weighing anywhere from 270 to 300. I got as high as 305. And I would diet down to 275 for competition. But even then, I had a tremendous amount of muscle mass, but I also had a tremendous amount of fat. And fat is just simply metabolically unhealthy. That's all there is to it. The reason heart disease and cardiovascular disease and atherosclerosis and strokes and diabetes and cancer and all of those things are killing humans at record rates is because of obesity. I won't mince words here. Being too fat, having too much body fat, regardless of how strong I was or how much muscle I had, is unhealthy. Period. It's unhealthy. It puts a bigger strain on your heart and it just causes issues. And so that is not my focus anymore. My focus now is longevity, health, a little bit of hypertrophy, because you like to look good when you take your shirt off and you like to look good in the mirror. And so that is my focus today. And I think that that should be your focus. Yes, you want to be strong, and this routine will get you strong. Yes, you want to build muscle and look good with your shirt off at the swimming pool, because guess what? Summer 2025 is right around the corner. I know that you may not think so, but it is. And so if we want to prepare for next summer, we start now. And so you're always planning ahead. Remember, summer bodies are made in the winter. Additionally, strong heart, strong lungs, strong overall body. This routine should help with that. Now, taking in the assumption that you're already doing your 150 minutes of cardiovascular exercise, zone 2, cardiovascular exercise per week, and perhaps you're doing your early morning walks, all of that is top notch. All of that helps you lose body fat, and it gives you a win each and every day, and it makes you a winner every week. But we need to lift weights if we want to build muscle and if we want to grow strong. There's no two ways about it. You've got to do resistance training. And so I have fallen into, or chosen, I should say, I have, after much trial and error, I have found what works best for me is what is called a push-pull leg split. Push-pull leg split. Now, there's many advantages to the push-pull leg split, and there's many advantages to the way I work out that I'm going to give you. You need to make this your own. You do not have to do it the way I do it, but I'm giving you one template that you can take into the gym with you. You could take this template into the gym with you tomorrow and start, and it'll work. It'll absolutely work for you. Let me give you an overview of what the benefits of the push-pull leg split are, and then I'll tell you, break down exactly how I do my workouts. First of all, a push-pull leg split is simply a workout routine that divides training into 3 distinct categories. A push day, which would include chest, triceps, and shoulders. A pull day, which includes your back and your biceps, and then a leg day, which includes quadricep muscles, the hamstring muscle family, and your calves. I don't work my calves specifically because they get so much work with some of the exercises that I do already. They get intense amount of work with some of the exercises I do. And I'll explain that later. But the main purpose that I do a push-pull leg split is because for me, it maximizes hypertrophy. It gives me good strength gains. And it focuses on the various muscle groups. Every muscle group gets hit. One of the advantages I really like about it is the fact that it really enhances your recovery. Each muscle group gets worked hard, but then gets ample time to recover. Because if you do a push day on Monday and a leg day on Tuesday and a pull day on Wednesday, and then if you want to rest Thursday, then Friday you're back to your push day. Ample amount of recovery, which is so important, especially if you have a few birthdays under your belt. If you're like me and you are on the freight train looking 50 in the eye, you need a little bit more recovery. And so I like the enhanced recovery that comes from a push-pull routine. I typically work each muscle group twice a week. That's a lot. I am an experienced weightlifter. I've been involved in weightlifting all my life. And so that's a lot. You don't necessarily need to do each body part twice in a week's period of time. You could say, break it up into 10 days, a 10-day period of time, and just make sure that each body part gets worked twice within a 10-day period of time or an 8-day period of time. Just whatever works best for your schedule and whatever works best for you. Understand, personal trainers are irreplaceable. When you get a good personal trainer who can walk you through a routine and be there by your side, that is money well spent. Let me tell you something. I'd rather you spend money on a personal trainer than any amount of money on supplements. I know people who will go out and they'll buy the creatines and they'll go buy creatine. They'll get their pre-workout. They'll buy the whey protein. They'll get their L-glutamine, and they'll get all of their things, all the stuff, or whatever else is the new rage, whether it be Turk, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Turk is supposed to make you build strong bone, they give you a high testosterone, whatever. Or if you follow the bull testicle diet and you get ground up bull testicle and liver, I'd rather you spend that money on a personal trainer. Spend the money on a personal trainer for the next 3 months. It'll be the best money you spend, because then you'll learn how to work out and you'll become independent. You'll know how to do it. So that's kind of a rant, but very important. Very important. But at the end of the day, nobody knows your body better than you. At the end of the day, nobody knows what you can handle or how you're feeling. And so you need to take what I'm saying and adapt it to you. Adapt it to your lifestyle. I think that is just good wisdom. So let's talk another advantage of the push-pull method, which is balanced muscle development. The push-pull leg split ensures that all major muscle groups are targeted equally, promoting balance, strength, and aesthetics. Now, that is assuming you're not going to skip leg day. Now, you women out there, you love leg day. I don't know what it is about that. My wife loves leg day. They love working the legs and the booty and just, I don't know, women just love leg day. I hate leg day, but I work my guts out on leg day, and I don't skip leg day because my legs are actually for me, one of my best body parts. My legs are quite shredded. They're quite strong. I work hard on my legs, and they grow naturally pretty good. But you have to work them. So don't skip leg day. This system only works if you work. And so the push-pull leg split, again, balanced muscle development. It works all the major muscle groups. And what this does, this has added benefit, added long-term benefit, because it reduces the risk of developing muscle imbalances that can lead to injury. And as you get older, you want to prevent injury. So the push-pull leg split helps prevent injury long-term, because you're building every muscle up equally over a period of time. Very important. Another advantage that I love, and this is probably the most important advantage to me, is the flexibility and customization. I've already talked about that, but you can easily adjust the push-pull leg split based on your individual goals, your preferences, or your schedule and your training frequency. Okay. For example, my shoulders are a weak point. My legs are strong point. My shoulders are a weak point for me. And I love big, boulder sized shoulders. I mean, if you want to change your physique, if you want to change the way you look with your shirt off, build your shoulders. Build your shoulders, build your deltoids in all three, the front, the side, the back deltoids. Build the entire deltoid, okay? Build the upper arm, the tricep, the bicep. Thin out your waist to start losing fat. You're going to look great, okay? Nothing builds that beautiful V look, that V shape, than having big shoulders. And so I really, especially the last 6 months to a year, I have focused heavily on shoulders, and it's paying off slowly, very slowly. By the time I'm 55, I'll look like Charles Atlas. You guys don't even know who that is. But either way, nice big shoulders. So that's one of the advantages of the push-pull leg split is you can adapt it to where you focus on certain things if you want. My triceps grow naturally quite big. My triceps do not demand as much work to grow big. That could be a result of my powerlifting career and all the bench pressing I've done over the years. But I don't need to give my triceps as much work as my shoulders. And so this split system allows you to modify as you see fit. And so I really enjoy that. This split also allows a variety. And some of you just love variety. It allows to incorporate different exercises and rep schemes to keep workouts engaging and challenging for you. Let me just warn you about that a little bit, though. The biggest people in your gym, and this is a universal truthism about building muscle. The biggest, most muscular people in your gym are doing what most people would consider to be boring workouts. They do the same thing over and over and over, day after day, week after week, month after month, for years. Years. I will never forget. I got to tell you this story because there's something about this. Building muscle is not easy. Losing fat is way easier than building muscle. You can lose 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds of fat relatively quickly. You're never going to gain 20 pounds of muscle in a year unless you are a newbie and on heavy amounts of performance-enhancing drugs. You're just not going to gain that much muscle. You see these movie stars, these actors who go from thin to jacked for their movies. They are all on PEDs. Period. No matter what they say, sorry to break it to you, just understand that they all are on PEDs because you do not gain that much muscle that quickly any other way. So it takes a long time to build muscle. Sorry, that's truth number one. Truth number two is it takes a tremendous amount of consistency. I will never forget I don't know, maybe shortly after I won my first world title in powerlifting, I come home to my police department and I was just sitting around, just chewing the fat with some fellow officers. And there were some officers I didn't know really well because it was a bigger department that I was working for at the time. And a couple of guys who were really interested in exercise and working out and building muscle and getting strong. And they're like, how do you bench press over 500 pounds? And they were insinuating that I was on drugs, which I was not. I was entering the law and fire division. We were drug tested in most cases. And it didn't help. Side note, didn't help that one of our officers, the same year I won my first world title, one of our officers was caught importing steroids in teddy bears into the United States. And he was either using them or selling them, or I don't know. And there was a group of us in the department that immediately got sent to get drug tested because they thought that Perhaps steroids were rampant in the police department. And I was one of them, obviously, quickly got drug tested. And I was so grateful because I was PED free. That's all there's to it. But either way, we're sitting around talking, and the officer, one of the guys says, "How do you bench press over 500 pounds? What is your workout routine?" And I said this. I said, "Well, tell me about your workout routine." And he told me what split he was doing, what he was doing, whatever. And I said, "Okay, no. Tell me about your macro cycle, not your microcycles. I want to know about what does your workout routine look like in this year, this entire year, starting in January 1 to December 31st. What does your workout life look like?" And he said, okay. And he said something like this. He said, "Okay, yeah, January, I'm really motivated. Of course, New Year's resolutions, all that stuff. So I'm really motivated. I hit it hard. January, February, March, hitting it hard. And, spring comes, you get a little bit of spring fever. And so I might go on some vacations, might go do different things like that. And, forget to hit the gym as consistently as I should. And, so maybe April and May is a little tough, but then, you get to the middle of May and you're like, oh, crud, what am I doing? I'm not working out, and summer's coming. So I'll hit it really hard, May and June and July and hopefully August. And then, the end of summer, you really don't, summer, the doldrums, the dog days of summer, and it's becoming fall and cozy time and Thanksgiving's coming up. And so, it's kind of hit or miss throughout those times. And of course, during the holidays, forget about it. And then start back over in January. I'm like, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. I said, because listen, in the last 10 years, I can count on both hands with fingers left over how many workouts I've missed. I don't miss. If I had a workout, now, I don't recommend you do this because this was obsessive. But this is what I told him. I said, if I have a workout scheduled on Christmas, I work out before we open presents. I would not, I don't want to disappoint my kids. So I'd get up early and I'd get the workout done. Or if I had a workout scheduled on my wedding anniversary, I love you, babe. This was stupid. This is just stupid, but love you, babe. We'll go out after I lift. And the bottom line is, I remember one time, me and my crew, we had been kicked out of a major gym chain because we bent their bars twice. True story. We bent their bars twice, and they asked us not to come back. So, and it wasn't even me; it was some other friends who, distant friends who are powerlifters that were bending the bars. But either way, they asked us all not to come back. No powerlifters. And this predates Planet Fitness. So anyway, so I turned my basement into a gym. We're down there lifting, and I'm doing dumbbell presses. And I could dumbbell press a lot. I think I had 120-pound dumbbells in each hand. And my brother-in-law, who is an astoundingly strong man, had just got done pressing, and his dumbbells were on the ground. And when I finished, I flipped my dumbbells to the ground, and the right finger got caught. It got crushed between the bell that was on the ground and the handle of the one I was holding, and it split my finger, and it split little fat nodules out of my finger. I still have a scar on the finger. Oh man, that hurt. But I went upstairs. I taped that sucker. I put a popsicle stick on it, taped it, and continued my workout with that finger. That finger extended in the air, which was somewhat humorous. But I finished my workout. Then I went to the after hours medical care center to have it treated. That's how insane I was. That's how dedicated I was. Now, I tell you all that and you think, oh yeah, that's what I got to be like. I'm like, no, No, your family should be first. Your wife should be first. Your husband should be first. You should not sacrifice your family relationships for working out. That's pathetic and stupid. And if I could go back and just tell myself, don't be stupid, I would tell myself, don't be stupid, because that's just stupid. But there is a fundamental truth to what I'm saying, and it is this. It takes years of consistency and years of dedication to get the body that you want, period. To reach any goal, to reach excellence in any venture of life, takes years and years of consistent dedication. You will not get it overnight, and you're not going to get it quickly. Just accept that. So now that I have diverted completely, let's get back on the fact that the push-pull leg split is very good when it comes to the efficiency of time. It works every major muscle, and it usually doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. So what do? I add into the push-pull leg split supersets. Why? Mostly because I like to work out with my wife, and my wife doesn't like to be at the gym for 2.5 hours. She likes to be there and be done quickly. Now, she's there a lot longer these days, but when we were first starting to work out together, she was about 1 hour and 5 minutes, and then she was ready to jet, right? Hit the bricks, let's leave. She's not like that anymore, but in order to conserve time, I created a superset split, push-pull leg split, that was very effective for me. And so what does my push day look like? Well, for me, I will come in and understand push is just the idea that you're working your shoulders, your triceps, and your chest, because now I'm going to tell you my favorite shoulder exercise, period. And you're going to be like, well, that's not a push exercise. So my favorite shoulder exercises are all the lateral raises, the dumbbell lateral raises, the cable lateral raises, working the outside mid shoulder. The front of the front deltoid gets overworked by most people, because every pushing exercise you do works it. But the back of the deltoid and the mid head of the deltoid gets neglected. And so I love doing the lateral raises. So I will do a lateral raise, and then I will go over and I will do a push. Now, I have some long-lasting nerve damage from my career in powerlifting. In fact, I have a type of palsy, believe it or not, that was brought on by one of the surgeries I had to fix damage to my spine. And so I have morphed into where I don't do a ton of free weights. I do mostly machines. It's the way I train these days. You don't have to do it this way. You could do lateral raises and then do bench press. It's be perfect. But so what I do is I'll do my lateral raises, and then I'll go right to a pressing, like a bench press on a machine, or on a Smith machine, or a horizontal chest press, something along those lines. And I will do usually 4 supersets of that exercise. So I've done 4 shoulder exercises, 4 chest and tricep exercises. Then I go to 1 more superset, and I'll pick whatever the case may be. Maybe it's overhead presses. Maybe it's face pulls while laying down. I'd have to show you exactly what I mean, but working the back of the deltoid, or maybe it's an exercise that pulls this way, working the back of the deltoid. I'll even use a rubber band to work the back deltoid. So I'll do another shoulder exercise, and then I'll do another pressing exercise. And sometimes I will do push-ups on boxes. So I'm doing where it takes you and you stretch really far at the bottom, so almost like negative push-ups, or I'll do regular push-ups, or I'll do dips. I'll do tricep push downs. I will do whatever I want to do that day. I'll do flies. I'll do the pec deck. I will do another chest type exercise. So I'll do a shoulder and then a press, and then a shoulder and then a press. And I'll usually do 4 sets total of each of those. And that's a lot of volume, but you want to get enough volume. Most people don't get enough volume, but it varies based on how much intensity you have too. I mean, how hard you're working out. And I work out hard. I work out harder than 99% of the people in the gym. I work to nearly failure, if not complete failure, on every set. Now, you don't have to do that. The statistics, or the studies have shown that, getting close to failure is just as good, if not actually better. But I'm kind of from the old school, the high intensity Mike Mentzer, Dorian Yates school of thought, Tom Platt school of thought, where it just high intensity. And so I can't outgrow that. That's just who I am. It's what I do. And that's it. That's my push day. My pull day would be something very similar. My pull day would be going in and I'll do some free weights on pull day, because I really like bent over barbell rows. I like dumbbell rows. So let's just say I do 4 sets of bent over barbell rows, but I'll start with a barbell row, and I'll go to a bicep curl. Whether it be preacher curls or cable curls or whatever, I will do a back, and then I'll do a curl. Actually, I'll do it in reverse. I'll usually start with a curl, fatigue the biceps, and then go to the back. But you play with it and see what works best for you. There are people who will fight and argue and say, "Oh, you should do it exactly this way." Fine. I have experimented and I know what works for me. So I'll usually start with a bicep exercise, preacher curls. I'll go to failure on that, and then I'll go to bent over barbell rows, and I'll go to almost failure, complete failure on that, and then I rest. And I'm resting usually about 2 minutes in between each superset. Okay. I don't time it. I just know I usually go in about 2 minutes, and I'll do 4 sets of those. That superset. And then I like to do a horizontal back and 1 vertical back exercise each time I do a push pull. And so then I'll go to like pull-ups or pull downs. And I'll do pull downs or pull-ups, and then I'll go to another bicep exercise, something a little bit different. I don't deadlift anymore. Like straight up deadlifts. I've done deadlifts my entire life, but now that my focus is not powerlifting, I don't really deadlift a whole lot. I will do farmer carries on extra workouts, or sometimes I'll do farmer carries on my back or leg workout. I'll throw them in there because I like to be strong lifting stuff off the ground, but I don't really do deadlifts. You can if you like them. Feel free to do deadlifts. It's not... they call it it's a king. It's one of the kings of the of exercises, and it's a good, strong strength builder. Not as great for hypertrophy, but either way. Then leg day, I hammer my legs, and so I always try to do some form of squat if my knees will agree that day. And my knees are generally pretty good. I do have one that's hurting me right now, but I always try to do some form of squat, whether it be Smith machine squats, sissy squats, whatever, goblet squats. You can look up all these different exercises. I always try to do a squat. So I'll start with a squat, and then I go to almost 9 out of 10 times to the calf ham glute raise machine. That was a staple for when I was powerlifting. It works the calves, it works the hamstrings, it works the glutes. And if you do it right, if your gym has a calf ham glute machine, you should use it. But you should Google or YouTube how to properly do it, and preferably from Westside Barbell or Elite Fitness, because most people have no idea how to do a calf ham glute raise machine. They do more of a back extension type exercise, and that's just not how you do it. It is a calf ham glute raise, and you should be completely straight up and down by the time with one rep. That's up and then down. And most people just kind of arch their back and move their head a little bit, and they think they're working something. But that's not how you do it. So I love doing the calf ham glute raise machine. It works the entire posterior chain from the calf all the way up to the top of the glutes. And so I'll do 4 sets of squats with those. And then I like to do functional exercises quite a bit. So I might, for my next leg workout, for my next set, I might do a series of box jumps, plyometric box jumps. And I'll do a set of box jumps and then a set of leg curls, working the hamstrings and the butt. Or I'll do leg extensions, which are one of my absolute favorite exercises for the quads. They just, man, you want a pump that hurts. You want to be shredded. You want to get your legs jacked. Leg extensions are it, my friend. They are it. And so either way, I'll do a quad and then a hamstring, a quad and a hamstring. Of course, the squat works the entire leg. So that is generally how I do my push-pull leg split. I hope that all makes sense to you. I wanted to break down the way I do it. I hope that wasn't too long. But ultimately, if you want to start building muscle, if you want to start changing the way your body looks, if you want to help your body become metabolically healthy, weightlifting, resistance training is king. It is so important to your health and your overall longevity. And so whatever your routine looks like, get in the gym and start lifting heavy things. I would be remiss if I did not talk about 2 other things briefly. 1, you need to work harder than you think you need to work. Most people go in and if you can carry on a conversation while you are in the middle of a set, you are not working hard enough. This is not social hour. Get in there and work hard. Coach Greg Doucette says, harder than last time. He says it in that high-pitched parrot from Aladdin type voice. But he's right. He's 100% right. Hard. Work hard. Most people do not work nearly hard enough. And then they say, well, why ain't I getting stronger? Why am I not growing? Because you're not working hard enough, for long enough, consistently, for long enough. Work hard. So that's number 1. You've got to work hard. And number 2, you got to have some volume. You can't just go in. Now, I understand if you're a high intensity guy and you're doing 1 set to failure and you think that's enough, okay, maybe it is for you. But generally the studies show you got to have X amount of volume per week. 9 sets per body part, per workout, whatever the case may be. You can look it up and decide for yourself what is best. But just generally speaking, you need some good volume. You need some volume, and you need to be working each body part consistently. None of what I have said matters an ounce unless you're consistent. You've got to get in the gym, and you've got to get in the gym consistently for the rest of your life. Period. This is not get shredded in 8 weeks, get shredded in 6 weeks, curls get the girls, chicks dig abs type workout. There's no such thing. You see that stuff? It's nonsense, garbage, trash. They're charlatans selling you snake oil. My friend, Avoid quick, easy things. In this world, we want things simple. We want things easy. But that is not who we are. As a first responder, you are a throwback warrior. You, as a firefighter, as a police officer, are a throwback to a day and time when our ancestors were just tougher, were just harder, and did hard things and worked their tails off. And that is who you are. Capture the vision of who you are. Capture the vision that you are a modern day warrior who needs to train for the rest of your life. That is irreplaceable when it comes to changing your health and your paradigm. This is a lifestyle. It is not a quick fix. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions at all, any comments, please leave them below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button so that you don't miss any future episodes coming out every Monday. We love you here at First Responder Fitness. Thank you for watching. Until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and as always, stay safe.